Malcolm Brogdon's reaction to the trade was not like Greg described. In fact, he was great. One goal with a picture of him playing in front of one of the Celtics championship banners. Many wondered how Marcus Smart would react, but the Celtics point guard saying all the right things as well. He tweeted this: "Man, really excited about the moves we made. Want to welcome Danilo Gallinari and Malcolm Brogdon to Beantown. Banner 18 is all that's on my mind." So they have something in common. They really, really want to win. Cedric Maxwell, I couldn't see you, but I'm told that you were having many reactions to that interview with Greg Doyle of the Indy Star. What did you think? What was your reaction to it?
I started thinking about one guy in particular who they said that was a malcontent, and that was Dennis Johnson when he first got here. He came from Phoenix. Nobody liked him. He was in the system. And then he got around players who understood the game and put him in the position that, look, dude, you're not the best, but you're going to be one of the best if you play like that. Doc Rivers has always said your best ability is your availability. Now, Malcolm Brogdon, when you think about it, he's missed a lot of games. But I think in this particular system, under Ime and those marching orders that Tommy Kern was talking about, I think that works for him in Boston. I think the culture works for him. I think the opportunity to win a championship is going to work for him. So I happen to like him coming in. He's a facilitator. He's a point guard. He can shoot the basketball. I like him in late game situations with his decision making.
I do wonder, Max, and Forsberg, Tom and I, when you guys just sitting there, I just want to get one more thing from Max here. Are you worried, based on what Greg Doyle just said about how he wants to be like the alpha male? I guess I'm not as worried about how he meshes. Actually, maybe I am. We're talking a lot about the attitude and the structure of this team and how important the chemistry is. Are we now worried that he's going to disrupt that? And I think most importantly with Marcus Smart, because we know Marcus Smart likes to be the alpha dog. Are those two headed for a collision course?
No, I think it's going to be a good situation because I think he's going to come here and understand his role of where he's going to be. When you have Tatum and you have Brown and you have Smart and you have Horford, you're going to be a facilitator. They're not asking you to do all those things in Indiana. What I love about him, he's a smart player, and what he does, he plays the game the right way. Now, is he going to play full speed all the time? I just don't think he's coming in with the attitude like, this is my team. I think he's going to come in with the attitude like, I'm going to be a helper.
As long as he's better than Greg's internet connection, we should be fine here. So my thing is that most guys, okay, who was the alpha that he was supposed to defer to in Indiana? Sabonis? Miles Turner? There were probably times that Malcolm Brogdon felt like he had to go out there and be the guy. Here, as you guys have so eloquently said, their marching orders will be clear. He's a backup point guard who will try to make Jason and Jalen better when he's out there. And I think it's easy for those guys to fall in line. I think also the older you get as a player and the more stops you have, the more you start to recognize and read the room and understand what your role is. And I think Malcolm Brogdon, from the minute that trade went down, was online saying, hey, look, it's one goal. And now I know it's easy to say that in July, and that might change down the road. But I don't think this is a Dennis Schroeder situation where he needs a bunch of shots and he wants to walk the ball up. He will do everything in his power to make the Celtics.
I got to say one thing before we get to the Durant. This notion that he's a backup point guard is so protective of Marcus Smart's ability to bring the ball up.
Why?
Because he's not a backup point guard. It's a starting level player who's going to be making $22 million a year. Horford's going to be out of the starting lineup more likely than Brogdon be sitting. So this notion that you have to protect, Marcus Smart will still start. If Marcus Smart is making the decisions for the offense all the way through the season and Brogdon isn't taking the lion's share of that, I'll be surprised.
You can see more of that debate on the Celtics Talk podcast with Chris Forsberg and Tom.
Look, Tommy Kern says one thing. He always says this, and it goes back. He said, all I want to do is be heard. That's what I want to be. I just want to be heard. He's told me that 1,000 times. This is what I think he wants to do. I think he wants to come in and play. He wants to play hard, but he wants to be respected. And Forsberg has it right when he's coming into a situation where he has all these great players in front of him. I think he's going to be fine in this situation.